Hello, hello. Yeah, thanks that you made it in that size back from the sugar break. And as I learned, we are the last, or almost the last one, to kind of stand between the winners of the awards and the actual awards. So, really appreciate it. Yeah, thanks also for you guys for joining. We are the AAA team. Aytaç, Alex, and my second name is Andreas. So happy to welcome you also on stage. So today it's, as we already heard, about leapfrogging the kind of channel complexity with flexibility. And Koç, one of our beloved customers of Turkey, now today wants to give us a lot of nice insights. But let's make a run of introduction. Alex.
Yeah, thank you.
Say something.
I will. So it's really an exciting event indeed. I'm Alex from AWS. So I work with the software and technology team that works with software companies, SaaS businesses in Europe and Germany. And of course, Spryker is one of our beloved customers who work together on architecture technology, of course, but also on go-to-market strategy and also the kind of whole digital package. So I'm very happy to be here today. Thank you.
Nice. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, before I hand it over to Aytaç from Koç, I just want to let you know that in Germany we know those hidden champions, and Koç is kind of one of them on steroids in kind of the Turkey country. So Aytaç, let us a bit know about Koç and the impressive numbers that one of the biggest or the biggest group in Turkey has to kind of present.
Thanks, Nico. Hello, everyone. It's a big pleasure to be in here with you. I'm Aytaç. I'm the head of product for e-commerce at KocZer. My focus is shaping on digital e-commerce products and using technology to make buying and selling more efficient. Just to give you a bit context, I would like to mention about the Koç Group. Koç Group is the largest industrial group in Turkey with nearly 120,000 employees. And also, it makes a huge contribution to the country's GDP, as you can see the numbers in our presentations. It has also strong international partnerships like Ford Otosan with Ford, Arçelik with Beko and Grundig, and Tofaş with Stellantis Group, as you see, Fiat and Jeep. So we may say that we come from a very broad and diverse ecosystem. And within this ecosystem, KocZer is our procurement and supply chain company. Traditionally, we handled the catalog management and the procurement services, but over the last years, we are more focusing on the digital platforms that can change how our companies do business. And that's where Zergo comes in. Zergo is Turkey's first B2B marketplace. Think of it as ease of, that brings the ease of consumer ecosystem into the B2B world. Buyers can go onto the platforms, search across different suppliers and different products, and compare across the suppliers, and they can give orders directly onto the platform. And for seller side, it means that Zergo means their entire product catalog can be visible into a much more wider customer base. And for us, it brings us transparency and efficiency and also scalability to this whole process. And by taking a flexible, modular approach with Zergo, we have been able to create a very great platform for our customers, for our sellers, and also for KocZer in itself. Yeah, that's, I think, also a little introduction for our company and myself, Nico.
Yeah, very, very impressive. So you mentioned Zergo already, and that's the kind of B2B marketplace we are talking about that you guys built based on Spryker, by the way. Tell us maybe a bit more about, because it used, so from what I learned, kind of it's also a kind of disruption within your company or kind of part of the whole digital kind of journey, right? But tell us maybe a bit, how was the process before, the order processing specifically, before you kind of went into that digital transformation?
of course, actually we have two different, very different channels when it comes to serve our customers. The first one, and by far the most common one, is the manual ordering by email. Customers send requests to our sales and category teams who had to prepare a quote, making the manual ERP registrations, creating order in the ERP manually, and pass it to the seller, track the shipment, issue the invoice, and all these procedures, as you see, as due by the manual workload. And this procedure is slow, fragmented, and very manual. And the second channel was our Zergo marketplace. In here, our customers paying by credit cards could place orders directly onto the platform. And those orders were transmitted to our ERP and our sellers automatically. And this gives us efficiency and also the visibility. But in reality, it sounds really great, but in a different kind of manner, this channel was a small fraction of our total volume.
Nice.
At a smaller scale, managing both channels was fine, but as Zergo grew, the imbalance became a really big challenge. Most orders still came by mail, as you can thought, but this means the most inefficiency stayed manual. So we thought that we need to solve that channel complexity because there is a huge problem to make Zergo grow its business.
Yeah, nice. So yeah, I guess it's all about efficiency today and also the area of flexibility in your perspective, right? Maybe over to you, Alex, kind of also in a bit more broader view of AWS. I mean, that might sound familiar to you, right? Yeah. Especially around the modularity and the composability within kind of the entire IT segments. Maybe tell us a bit more from the side of AWS. What is your take on that?
Yeah, I mean, we see those effects in other customers as well. So, I mean, e-commerce is an area, let's be honest, everybody can say everything to everybody, right? If you look at the market. So what is it that differentiates you? It's efficiency. So if you want to make a margin, you need to identify the things where you are strong and be able to scale them in a way that is very resourceful. And so this kind of ability to modularize, to identify the building blocks you need, and then to scale them rather than everything and create a lot of waste is essential for organizations.
Yeah. Do you have concrete examples in terms of that perspective?
Yeah, I mean, in e-commerce, let's say you have, most e-commerce systems these days, and it's distributed anyways. So what we see is you can build the core platform that takes in, let's say, orders, but your fulfillment may have an outage if that happens. And so you will create a large backlog, and that system must be able to scale while the fulfillment system is offline. And then at some point you need to massively process fulfillment requests into the other system. And so at different times in the process, those systems need to scale independently without having a lot of infrastructure provisioned for everything all the time. So setting this up in a way that is decoupled and doesn't create, a cascading failure, but also able to massively scale with a high elasticity at the point where you need those systems is a competitive advantage.
Yeah, nice. Maybe as we saw also the old world in terms of the manual order processes that no one likes here, but I guess we still have them, so let's face it. Yesterday I just had a meeting where the fax, the German kind of fax still is a thing. Aytaç, if we kind of look into the kind of situation right now, so coming from that manual order process, how does it look like in the current situation?
Actually, this creates some problems in the all stakeholders because for customer side, it creates some inconsistencies. Marketplace orders were instant and fast, whereas the manual orders are slow and needs some back and forth. For the seller side, it creates a duplication. They need to reconcile the two channels, that comes from the mail and that comes from the marketplaces, and they need to register all those orders into their ERP. And also for our teams, the operational burden is the major issue. We are chasing emails, we update our ERP manually, track shipments by hand, and that leads less time to the strategic work, and we need to focus on the operational burden. And as you look at the whole process, the bigger issue was visibility. Orders outside the platform meant no single source of truth. Data was scattered across different platforms. Some of them are in the spreadsheets, some of them are in our databases, in our ERP systems, and some of them are in our emails. So we saw also a channel conflict in there. The problem is some customers try to bypass that marketplace process, and they think that email and direct contact can faster the processes, and they can get fast responses with that, but the case is not that. I can also say that we come to a really key realization that we couldn't solve this with a rigid one-size-fits-for-all process, because everyone has different habits, everyone has different needs. So we need to embrace the flexibility and come up with a solution that modular and integrated flow that could support both channels and ultimately bring into a unified, digitalized process. So that's the whole process that we are facing struggles with it. And also I can say that at the final stage, maybe in the next question you can ask, we create efficiency and transparency. We try to create an efficiency and transparency for the all stakeholders, and we try to gather the control that we were missing. And that's how our journey started to create a flexible approach.
Yeah, I guess the efficiency gains are maybe something we will touch on in a second. But I would, because it's also kind of the tracking and the whole, we talked a lot about AI and kind of the baseline data structures and so on. I would really like to get also your take, Alex, from a zoomed out perspective on data analytics. I mean, AWS is kind of a very strong player in that area, and I'm also quite sure that Aytaç, you are leveraging a lot of the outcome and the insights that you gain out of that new platform. So what is kind of the take on data analytics? We all know that you support it, but what is the kind of the new opportunities that are coming out of that?
Yeah, from a business perspective, it's an important question to ask, because often, you know, when companies start building e-commerce, analytics is a bit of an afterthought. And especially for older companies, they build it on top later on. But it is integral to being able to control what's happening in order to make decisions, right? Because it's not enough to, you know, create a nice data architecture and warehouse. And you said something good about not one size fits all. So you would have a kind of diverse ecosystem of data tools, but it doesn't make sense to build something just for the purpose of collecting data. What you need to understand is you have transactional systems, and the analytics systems are there to consolidate the data, be able to derive insights, decision preparations from that, and then feed it back into the actual transaction systems, for example, for personalization. So being able to control what's happening, again, to make efficiency gains, but also to kind of double down on your business, to be able to see where the direction is, that is crucial as well.
Nice. So let's tap on the efficiency gains, as you both kind of spoiled it out already. What are the ones that you are seeing in kind of the broader scale on kind of other projects that you're involved in?
Well, efficiency gains, again, come from being able to not be wasteful with your resources, but it's also the ability to, let's say, experiment. So we live in a world that is changing rapidly, that is quite known to everybody, but what is the implication for your business? It means that you need to try out new things. And trying out new things is by definition wasteful because not every experiment can be successful. So you need to strike a balance between being able to explore new opportunities, new technologies, new channels, for instance, but at the same time, you need to be able to throw it away, to kind of try something out, get the data, to know if that was successful, to prove or refute your hypotheses, and then say, okay, let's double down on that or pivot and do something different. And that is one important aspect of efficiency and being able to stay ahead at the game.
Yeah, cool. So Aytaç, tell us, is it actually true what we are trying to say here? That does kind of make a modular platform make you more efficient? So if you kind of look at the numbers, you launched the platform when?
Actually, we launched it in the 2023 on November.
Okay, so you already have quite some data to rely on. Are there already some efficiency gains that you can look at that you further improve up on now?
Actually, yeah, we have some efficiency gains for all stakeholders. For the customers, they have the smoother experience that they can only use one platform. They don't need to use mails, track the manual orders from there. They can use the platform and see the transparency. They can track their shipments, and as I say, they can get the consistency. For the sellers, this type of digitalization removes the need to reconcile the orders. They can get the orders and their full catalog is visible. Because we made integrations to the integrators that sellers using to integrate their ERPs. In Turkey, sellers uses different types of integrators to integrate with their ERP. So we didn't want to change their habit, and we integrate directly to those integrators. And by doing so, they can track their orders from their own ERP, and they do not need to make another extra steps. And this also make efficiency in their current process, maybe I can say. And the biggest efficiency gain is on the KocZer side, because the manual ERP entries and the shipment follow-ups, issuing invoices is the most time-consuming activities that we are doing on the backstage. So now our teams can now spend less time on the administrative work and work more on the strategic priorities, like expanding the category coverage and negotiating better prices for the sellers. And also we make the financial processes more smoother, and financial checks can be done automatically on the system, because manual orders are actually coming from the customers that's using open account payments. So we need to check the financial stability of our customers. So by doing that automatically, it's also reduced our risk in financial manner. In short, I can say that the transformation is more about than time saving. By reducing manual work and improving visibility, we unlock capacity to create real value across entire ecosystem.
Yeah. One question out of curiosity, kind of in terms of adoption, is that something that you also feel differently, or kind of your customers and partners differently, that they really embrace that adoption?
Actually, they adopted faster than we expected, because customers mainly wants to get the orders from their habits. They tries to collect it from the mails, but when they see the gains, they track the shipment, and they can also gather their invoices faster. They adapted to whole system, and they are also happy to use that one.
Sounds like a win-win-win.
Yeah.
Nice. I mean, we come to questions in a second, but maybe as the future is also quite interesting, it's kind of uncertain, but very, very kind of interesting. And also, I would like to have your one, maybe 2 or 3 sentence take on kind of the future trending topics. Maybe let's start with you, Alex. If you look ahead in those kind of emerging technologies, right? Also connecting it to real-world examples in the B2B space with the marketplace, kind of triangulating between operators, the merchants and the end customers. What is your take on the future, putting everything into one kind of box, but really giving a kind of an idea?
Yeah. Makes sense. I mean, we have been talking at the conference, and topics in general are very much about data, AI. I think this is also one of the things that will grow continuously. So if you want to hear some specific trends in e-commerce, I think we will see an increase in personalization, hyper-personalization. So the amount of data, the depth of analysis, the tools we have today, also the processing power, will allow to make it more specific to the audience and to a multi-dimensional persona. So that is one of the trends we see. Of course, when we talk about agentic AI, we will see a deeper integration to e-commerce systems, where we can follow more the intent rather than algorithmically kind of processing through APIs. We can say there's a human being and we try to understand what they want rather than what they give us as a direct input. And when it comes to data, what we see even more these days is predictive analytics. So it sounds a bit paradoxical to analyze something that happens in the future, but by using, I would say, more traditional aspects of AI, so like machine learning and neural networks, we can kind of extrapolate the things that we see in those complex patterns and predict what happens there and what is going to be a trend we can already preempt as an e-commerce business.
Nice. Not 3 sentences, but still impactful. And also, what is kind of, KocZer, the next steps, right? In a very, if you could think outside of the box, as you established already the platform, right? You leverage your data. You connect your partners with your customers and you operate the platform. What are the next steps?
Actually, now in the next steps, we are trying to improve our customers' experience. And I believe that in the future also the AI-driven personalization become a huge topic, because you need to serve your customers in a personalized way. So that kind of personalizations and predictive order flows, that you can predict when your customers is going to place an order, and you can offer before they need. You can also increase the customer's current experience.
Nice one. Looking forward to that. So maybe let's talk about it next year. We have 1 minute, maybe time for one question if someone would like to take it on.